What's up, guys? Welcome back to Avengers. Ugh. Today, I gamble with Eleanor's life. So after I got Eleanor up and running with a new turbo and new camshaft, I had some concerns about advancing the camshaft on it for fear of the valves actually hitting the pistons. This fear comes from the fact that I used that camshaft for a very short period of time on a high compression engine that I had to retard the cam just to keep the valves from hitting the pistons. But seeing as this is not a high compression engine, it's probably 8 to 8.5 to 1. I don't know if I should have to worry about it, so that's what we're going to find out today. If you recall, the build is a D16 Z6 bottom end with stock length Eagle rods and 75mm Vitaras. Thank you, Bean. With those rods, the pistons should sit probably 1 to 2 millimeters below deck, as opposed to with custom length rods, where the pistons should sit flush with the deck of the block. The D16Y8 head that's on it has been milled a little bit to bring the compression up, but that makes the flat face valves on it be a little bit closer to the deck, thus adding to my concern about that camshaft being too big, causing some interference between the pistons and the valves. The camshaft is a Crowler 6344 3Z, and it's got quite a bit of lift and quite a bit of duration. The cam needs to be advanced a little bit so that I can bring my power band down some and allow me to have a little bit more power pre-boost. So James, the guy that helped me tune the car, he bet me 20 bucks that I could advance the AEM cam gear as far as it'll go and the pistons still won't hit the valves, whereas I think that the valves are going to hit long before I get fully advanced. So to do this test, I need to pull the valve cover off, and then I go ahead and loosen up the valve lash on all of the valves. This will make the engine easier to turn over and not mess up the lash whenever I advance the camshaft. Then I set the engine for top dead center for piston number 1, and I mark where the camshaft is advanced to currently. It's at roughly 4 degrees advanced. Then I go ahead and advance the camshaft as far as it'll go, which is 10 on the gear, but I believe every mark is actually 2 degrees, so it should actually be 20 degrees fully advanced. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the valve lash properly for cylinder number 1. I go ahead and use the hot settings, thus making it a little bit tighter than what it probably would be. That's 8 thousandths on the exhaust and 6 thousandths on the intake side. Now what we need to do is go ahead and lock in VTEC for cylinder number 1 to perform our test. What we're going to be doing is locking VTEC so that we don't have, so we know we have the max lift we're going to get out of that camshaft and be able to verify that it won't hit a piston. So to do that, we have to actually take our top piece here off, this guy, which is kind of annoying, but we'll do it. And we're only going to do it on number 1. This is crank pulley side, flywheel side, distributor side. So we're going to basically take it apart and we're going to switch around some of the pins that go through there so that VTEC will be locked. So what I've originally done here is on the rocker arm, there's this pin that goes through. It does not go all the way through. I pulled him out. And then we take our VTEC rocker, we pull the pin out of the VTEC rocker, and we put it in this rocker. So he sticks out like that. Then put our VTEC rocker on, together like that, and now these two will be locked. And then we put it back together like that. Put that guy back on. And that's pretty much what we got to do. Now we just got to put it back together and put it back on the car. So I'll do that and we'll come back to it. So now the VTEC's locked and the cam cap's all bolted back on, it's time to turn over the engine and perform our actual test. The question here is now, will the valves hit or will they miss? Let's find out. So as you may be able to tell from the video, I lost the bet. The engine turned over completely without the valves hitting at all, with the cam gear advanced as far as it'll go. I guess in order to win the bet, I should have went ahead and tightened up the valve lash as tight as I could to make the valves open as far as humanly possible, but you know, I didn't, and I'm an honest guy, so I can only assume here in about 3 minutes I'm going to be getting a text from James with him rubbing it in my face. So what does this test even tell us? What it does tell us is that we have clearance between the valves and the pistons. So even if we were to advance as far as the cam gear would let us, which is 20 degrees, which is probably way more advanced than what we're ever going to go to with this, we technically should have clearance. What it doesn't tell us is exactly how much clearance we actually have. You should probably have 80 thousandths clearance on the intake side, and we just don't know how much clearance there is. But what it does say is that since we won't be going to 20, it won't be that tight, but we could go in the into the 8 range or so, which is probably where we'd advance it to, 8 to 10 maybe. Without a dyno, I don't know where we'd actually land, but that would at least give us an idea and know that we have some space. The concern is how much space, and the only way to know that is to pull the cylinder head off and actually clay the engine to find out the distance. And well, since me and James have been talking about going back to a dyno with this new build, and I assume that once we go to a dyno, he'll probably blow the head gasket again like he did last time, and so when he does that, I'll go ahead and pull the head off and then clay the engine then. So James, we do still have some more work to do to this engine. I've got a 20 waiting for you here. I'm still not overly, ready to advance the cam gear. I'm a little still concerned about it, but at least it gives us an idea, and we can probably push it a little bit farther than we have. And we probably don't need to go too much farther to bring it down to a place we want it anyway. Anyway guys, sorry for the late video. Just kind of expect to not see me until probably after the holidays at this point. I don't have any footage, or enough footage for a video anyway, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't have time to edit it, so I just don't think that I'm going to be able to get another video out to you before the end of the holidays, so probably expect after that, maybe the Friday after or the week after, I don't know. Expect it to, January for me to get you new videos. And since I'm not going to see you until after the holidays, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thanks for watching, guys.